was a cut here. We had double audio issues. The main feed failed completely, and then Caleb's backup feed, for some reason, didn't record him at all. So we went back and re-recorded Caleb's parts with just me and him. So everything you hear with Caleb is added in post. So there's probably your fair share of awkward pauses here, but it was the best we could do with what we had. So hopefully it doesn't suck too hard. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to Casual Opinions Podcast, a podcast about trains. It's a train podcast now, and that's what it's going to be forever. So deal with it.
Choo choo.
Choo choo kaboo. Kabloo. No, not actually trains today, but we do have a special guest star in today's episode who is a train connoisseur. I am Zach Kellner, joined again with my brother Caleb, TikTok/cameo celebrity Bailey Deal. You can rent him for $25.
Yep.
That is the going rate for
Buy my body.
Bailey Deal action there. But then the special guest star of the day, known for YouTube food reviews, known for spamming NASCAR stuff across my Twitter feed, and his love of trains and his vast video game collection, is internet micro celebrity dgoodin24. So
hey, I didn't know you were talking about me. That's special.
Internet micro celebrity, YouTuber, friends with famous people. You know, he does it all. So it's all pretty good.
It's pretty good for sure.
You've never called me an internet micro celebrity.
Well, I mean, you're definitely bigger than me, but I mean, micro celebrity is accurate.
I've never been called a micro celebrity by Zach before. That's all
I've called you TikTok star.
Yeah,
That's
but micro celebrity
the same thing, right?
Different.
I think that's better.
That's something you can put on a resume.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I thought most TikTok stars were micro celebrities.
Gosh, you're making me feel like I'm the size of a Lego figure or something.
You're famous. But I do have a proposal here before we start the video game draft, since we do have two internet micro celebrities here, and TikTok versus YouTube boxing has been all the rage. Would Bailey and Dylan want to fight? We can do a Casual Opinions live stream boxing match between you two.
Jeez.
Nobody would want to see that.
Nobody would want to, but I think it would be somewhat like entertaining and just very niche.
Yeah, I would
probably run out of energy in like 45 seconds.
I was about to say, I've been training on a treadmill lately. I think my stamina's up, but I don't think I could even lift a boxing glove to save my life.
Dylan would probably just pass a kidney stone in the middle of the fight and fall over.
Hey, that kidney stone is gone. We're good. We're ready to throw one punch. Whoever lands the first punch would go down. Or
I was trying to say, this would just be like, if you land a hit, you've won.
It's a possibility. It's an investment. If we get 1,000 views on this, if we get 1,000 listens on this, Bailey and Dylan will fight each other.
There we go.
That's my
How much
guarantee.
would we charge pay-per-view on that?
$10.
Oh, it's a little steep.
A little steep. We'll just get all of our family to chip in.
That's the price of fame, everyone.
It's true. A little punch to the face. Today we're going to do, I guess, in quasi-celebration of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 coming out, we're going to do a video game draft where we've got a list of different video game categories. We're going to snake draft it here. I'll read off the draft order, the categories in order that we will be picking. And then just like give a little rundown of, I guess, rules, just so we're all on the same base there. So the draft order, snake draft, will go me, Dylan, Caleb, and Bailey. So that means in round one, Bailey, you'll pick last, but in round two, you get the first pick.
Okay.
So it'll invert. So Bailey, you're either going to be picking first or you'll be picking last, and then it'll be the same for me. And basically Caleb and Dylan will be flip-flopping the 2 and 3 spots there. We are going to pick. We are going to have specific categories for the rounds. There's 12 total rounds, and I put the list in our chat here. The rounds for the categories are Round 1 will be couch co-op / multiplayer. Round 2 is a game from the 2020s. Round 3 is video game antagonist. Round 4 is a movie that should have a video game. Round 5 is a sexy video game protagonist. So in that case, you'll be picking a character, not a game. Round 6 is a game that deserves a sequel or reboot. Round 7, a game that scares the piss out of you. Round 8, a game based off a non-video game IP, so anything based off of a comic or a movie that has been adapted into a video game form. That one's pretty flexible. I guess then is it 9? Yeah, 9 would be handheld console. 10 would be a game that pulls at your heartstrings. 11 would be video game movie, and then 12 would be a game from 2013. I just Google searched what was the best year for video games in the 2010s, and it came up as 2013. So I just went with that one.
After doing my research, that's totally right too.
Yeah. There's some really good ones there. The rules then before we get started is we'll snake draft it, which I've already kind of explained. So I'll go in round 1. It'll go me, Dylan, Caleb, Bailey. Then round 2 it will go Bailey, Caleb, Dylan, myself, and then it just flips on that. And then the other chief rule is once a game has been taken, it's not up for selection for the rest of the draft. So if I pick a couch co-op game in round 1 and you want to pick it, and you wanted to pick that same game later in the draft in a different round, it's no longer eligible. So try to keep track, at least do it.
Oh. Yeah.
So try to keep track. I'll do my best. Write down your picks and stuff so you can send them to me at the end. But try to keep a general track on who's doing what, and I'll try to keep a sort of a master list going here as well. Does anybody have any questions?
When we pick our game or whatever, do we need to talk about it a little bit, or are we just shooting right through it?
Just real quick talk.
I'd say give it a blurb, and maybe a little why. Don't go on a whole spiel, just for the sake of time. 12 rounds can stretch a little bit, so.
Yep.
I'll get it going then. Here we go. I got the first pick in round 1, which the category is couch co-op / multiplayer. And I'm gonna go and take what's been one of my favorite co-op games in recent memory with my first pick, and I'm gonna take Overcooked 2. Overcooked 2 is my couch co-op. Maybe a little recency bias here. This is one that Kim and I play all the time. Seriously, the Overcooked games, if you haven't played them, they're freaking awesome. They're so much fun. And we go back and replay it all the time because Overcooked is a blast. There's a bazillion multiplayer games you could have chosen, a bazillion multiplayer games I could have chosen, but I didn't. I went with Overcooked 2, and I will leave it at that.
All right, so I guess that makes me next. I didn't expect you to go the Overcooked route. I was expecting more like It Takes Two or something like that. So kind of left the door open for me. I'm going to go ahead and go with Mario Kart Double Dash for mine.
Good one. Yeah.
See, I had kind of just wrote down Mario Kart, and I was just going to say that. Then I'm like, oh, I actually need to pick one. And yeah. I think as much as I like 8 Deluxe, I feel like I had a lot more nostalgic memories with Double Dash, and a lot of people consider that one the best one. 64 was also up for consideration, but Double Dash, it just has that little bit of different gameplay than we're used to, and I think I like that one the best.
What was the first one? Was
Sexy
Co-op?
Pro, or no, it was not Sexy Protagonist. It was a couch co-op. You had co-op pick.
Yeah, so my couch co-op pick is Smash Bros. Brawl specifically. Yeah, Subspace Emissary was like, the GOAT of all Smash. You have I don't even know what Smash 4 did after, honestly, what their
Smash 4 kind of stunk.
It's kind of the forgotten
comparatively,
Smash Bros. Game. Yeah. And then there was World of Light and Ultimate, which was just people didn't seem to hate on it as much as I thought they would. Maybe I'm just holding Subspace too high of standards, but I feel like World of Light sucked, and not a lot of people thought that for some reason. It was just, it felt lazy to me. But Smash Bros. Brawl is my pick there.
Subspace was total fire. It's just I thought it was the coolest thing on the
Taboo
planet.
and the cutscenes. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
This is just a little sidebar. The bad guy at the end of the new Kirby game, Kirby and the Forgotten Lands.
Don't spoil too much.
No, just his design reminded me of Taboo, which makes sense because it's Sakurai that makes the Kirby games, and he also makes the Smash games. So I felt like there was a similar design in some respects.
Man, I don't know when the hell I'm going to get that game. I'm so mad. I was like so amped to pre-order that, and then I just kind of forgot. And
it's good. It's fine.
I'm poor. So
that doesn't matter. And also, you made fun of me for picking Overcooked in this round. Overcooked 2.
Yeah, I did.
Which I still think was the right pick. Dylan had Double Dash, which was a good pick.
That was a good pick, yeah.
Solid
pick.
Okay. Mine, I chose Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. I did not choose the Skywalker Saga, as I've not played that enough as a couch co-op. But me and my bro, we played that all the time on our GameCube whenever we had it. Just really good stuff overall. Classic. It's good for single player, but it's more fun whenever you can double up.
Strong choice.
Oh, yeah.
So then, Bailey, you get the first pick in round 2, and round 2 is a game from the 2020s.
Okay, yeah. So this one, I chose Animal Crossing New Horizons, which I know a lot of people are. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get a lot of. What? Oh, dang. I was going to say a lot of people are either going to groan just because of that choice in general. But that was that's the game that got everyone through the pandemic, or at least the first rounds of lockdown. So
that's such a great game.
Iconic game. Even if some people who are Animal Crossing fans have it at the bottom of their list of good Animal Crossing games, this is my first one, so I enjoyed it for what it was. I haven't picked it up in months. I'm afraid if I go back to the island, then Raymond's gonna come up and just beat the shit out of me. So, yeah,
it's fair. Yeah,
it's overrun with scorpions and tarantulas.
Fantastic.
2020s?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Bailey took the Animal Crossing that I was going to say, even though I'm not a huge Animal Crossing fan. I did play a good amount of that. But I'm not having too many games in the 2020s that I'm obsessed with right now. But I did pick Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I pick it over Arceus. I have not played Arceus. Legends Arceus, I'm not hating on that game. It didn't really appeal to me too much, so I wasn't gonna just get it right away. I'm sure I'll get it eventually. But specifically because I haven't played it, and like I said, the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, they weren't amazing, but they were what they needed to be, which was a faithful remake. They could have added megas, they could have added this and that. I will say it's weird that they didn't add the platinum stuff, kinda, because usually when they remake a game, they add in that third party or that third game feature. So Heart Gold and Soul Silver added the stuff that Crystal had that Gold and Silver didn't. So that was a little strange, but I understand why, because that does kind of change the whole story. So I understand. But yeah, Diamond Pearl, that's what I'm going with.
Nice. You should every once in a while just throw in a "shut up, Dylan" or a "screw you, Bailey." It's
just
actually,
out of context.
Yeah, just so it seems a little more authentic. Even though I don't think I'm going to cut this out at all, just for fun.
We roll with it.
It's up to Dylan now. Then
I think we're good. So for me, it was tough. I mean, I've played a lot of games and I've liked a lot of games. Animal Crossing was going to be my first one, but I can't do that. So this game, I have never played one of these before. And I was surprised how much I loved it, and I literally played it every day until I beat it, and I'm going to go with Metroid Dread.
Okay.
I was addicted to that game for probably at least a week, and it was super fun. Like I said, I've never played one of them before, but man, I mean, it's so good, and I'm hoping that the success of this game will give us some more.
Did they remaster the Metroid Primes?
No. Well, kind of. They did for Wii. There's
Okay.
rumors that they're going to redo the first one before Metroid Prime 4, but that's it.
Interesting. I guess all five of my 2020s are still up here.
Can I take a guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ghost of Tsushima?
That's one of them.
Ah.
That was in my top 5. I thought for sure, Dylan, that you would take The Last of Us 2. I thought that was going to be your pick.
It's the first one is a lot better. The second one really. We may get into that later. Go ahead.
I'm a big fan of both of them, but I'm not going to take The Last of Us 2. I'm going to take It Takes Two. That was one that I also considered for my couch co-op multiplayer game, but I was able to pick it up here as well. Game's awesome. I mean, that's the best game from the first 3 years of the 2020s so far, in my opinion. It is so much fun. The level designs are really neat. The story's great. A lot of times co-op games get a little samey and get a little repetitive, but in this one you get essentially a new power set for every single level. So every single level is fresh and different, and it's just a blast. So I had a bunch of fun playing that game, and I do think it's probably the best game so far early on in this decade here. It's a blast.
Wow.
So then it snakes back around to me, and I get the first pick for video game antagonist. Basically just a bad guy. And I was trying to think of what was a memorable bad guy for me, and it's maybe not like the most iconic bad guy ever, but it's one that I think about all the time. My pick is Andrew Ryan from BioShock.
Okay.
I think he is, yeah, and he, well, no, that's because there's two bad guys in the first BioShock. Andrew Ryan, he's the founder of Rapture, and that was one, and big spoilers here. This is one that was like, the reason why I think about it all the time is it just floored me. Like I had no idea. I didn't see it coming. You learn partway into the game that this guy, who you're under the impression has been your ally for most of the game, has actually secretly been manipulating you the whole time. His famous line that he uses to essentially kind of trigger your mind control. He just always asks you to do something. He always says, "Would you kindly?" And then anytime he says "Would you kindly," without your knowledge, you are obeying him. So Andrew Ryan, that's one that's stuck with me for a long time. So that's my pick on antagonist.
So you kind of left the door open here for me. And I guess I'm going to continue to go with this Nintendo theme for now, but I'm going to go with King Koopa himself, Bowser. Whenever I think of a video game baddie, it's kind of, Bowser. So, I mean, I know he's pretty basic, but I mean, he's probably one of the most famous, obviously, out there. So I'm going to go with him. Pretty easy pick for me.
Well, Ganondorf. Ganondorf would be my video game antagonist. He's the GOAT villain, I don't know. I first saw him in Ocarina of Time. Yeah. He's in pretty much. He's not in every Zelda game, but he's in most every Zelda game. He's the big bad that overarches like the entire franchise. Because you have I always forget his name. I think it starts with a D in Skyward Sword. I can't remember his name, but he's the guy that kind of like birthed Ganon. He's the reason why Ganon keeps popping up over and over again. But yeah, Ganon's the GOAT, or I guess the Warthog in this case.
Yeah, I think we made that cheesy joke.
I think we did too.
Cool. I am breaking the Nintendo streak. I chose the imposter from Among Us. I know. Ooh. Hey, maybe if I say sus enough on the podcast, it'll get it trending. We can get 1,000 viewers, and I can fight Dylan.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, what more can be said about the imposter besides Oh, that's pretty sus, bro.
God damn it.
All right.
On that note,
You've got
Yeah.
back-to-back bad choices for me because I'm excited for this next one. The movie that should have a video game.
This will be fun.
Well,
I
Caleb,
hope no one steals.
you basically just said it. I think Passion of the Christ should have a video
God
game.
damn it, Bailey.
Think
God
about it.
damn
Think
it.
about it. You go through all the trials and tribulations of Jesus,
Oh.
and then there's a final mission where you have to carry the cross, and you have to pick it back up, and you have to get up on that hill.
Rapidly mash A button to
rapidly mash A to resist the nails, but you fail every time anyway. So
all right, guys, we're all going to hell here. Let's just.
Isn't it funny how we're doing this on this episode is probably going to release on Palm Sunday, which is the beginning of like the week of Easter when Jesus was crucified.
Fantastic.
You know, I googled this just to make sure. Just to make sure. It wouldn't have surprised me if they released a GBA title or something stupid like that. But unfortunately, no.
There is no Passion of the Christ game.
Movie that should have a video game. Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Vampire Slayer.
Slayer,
maybe.
I think, yeah.
But that was a fun movie. That's got Liam McPoyle in it, if you remember.
Oh, really? Yeah, it does. Yep.
Yeah, he plays like a version of somebody who's real. I don't know, because they're all based off real characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a fun movie. I don't know, it could be a fun video game maybe, because obviously I read that section wrong, so I was not quite prepared for that one. I think I said BioShock, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I was
Everybody
like BioShock, and you guys were like, "What?"
What? I feel like I'm sad that they don't make more things like that. Like, I think that was a book that they made into a movie, and I'm just like,
really?
where's more things like this?
Where's my sequel?
Yeah, we need something like that.
Didn't they kind of tease that?
I think so. Well, I think
It's like
I think the
Barack
book has
Obama?
a sequel too. Like, I think it might be a book series even, but
oh really? Wow.
yeah. Good for Abraham Lincoln killing vampires, being depressed.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go with one of my favorite movies, and that is the Kingsman series. I think that's kind of like your funny James Bond action, shooty, beat 'em up adventure. I think that would transfer well if done by the right company. This was a tough one. I mean, I don't know. I had like Mission Impossible down, and I don't know. I mean, it is a very tough category. I had to think about it for a while, but the easy choice was just to go with my favorite movie series.
That's good. Yeah,
It's top two. I think Ghostbusters is first, and that one's second. But
I'll give my pick here then. Unless Caleb, you have thought of one since no. I'll give one that I kind of thought of as maybe like a survival horror game. And I was gonna go with The Purge. Make a video game based off The Purge. Again, kind of a survival horror vibe there, which is essentially what most of those movies are. You know, that's kind of been a pretty big trend in games, like where in the game you're pretty much defenseless, like you get one tapped by anyone. So in this one, it would probably be more about like hiding and running away and surviving. So then we what was that? Who the hell picked on that one? Bailey picked on that one first, right?
it'll be you again.
So it's back around to me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And this is Caleb threw me off here. Good. I'm glad I get first on this one. Next category is sexy video game protagonist. And I'm gonna take Nathan Drake for my pick here.
We all had him down, did we not?
Let's go.
I'll be honest, I did not, because I don't play those games.
Yep. Easy slam dunk pick there. Next.
This is kind of embarrassing to say because I don't want to be just normal anime. Whatever. Yeah.
I'm
gonna go with what?
Go ahead.
He's gonna
I'm gonna
say
go with
Samus.
No, she's on my list, but I'm gonna go with Pyra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. You could thank the Smash DLC for that. That's all I got to say. You can move on.
We know how you feel.
I answered I answered the question. Let's move on to the next one. That's all I got to say.
Big titty anime girlfriend. We got angry because the next one is sexy video game protagonist.
Yeah. I had every right to be angry. You stole the good one. When I would search, I would search because I, by default, was picking Nathan Drake. That's what I was going to do. But I did search attractive male video game characters, and like Nathan Drake was popping up left and right. I'm not even kidding. Like, do it if you do it right now.
Absolutely,
he's going to be like probably the #1 pick. He pops up a lot. Him, I think I saw maybe a couple of Joel, Kratos, but who did I? Oh, I went with Cal Kestis as my sexy video game pro tag. I would have felt weird if I said Lara Croft, but I mean, it's true. She's attractive.
But at least you didn't pick. At least you didn't pick Pyra from Xenoblade Chronicles.
Dylan's a weeb. Yeah, no, I'm glad I didn't do that. Cal Kestis, though, I think that Cameron something.
Is it like
it starts with an M? I think he's a decent looking dude, and just in general.
I didn't know the actor's name, and I'd seen some of Shameless. So when I saw that he was in Fallen Order, I was like, "Oh, it's the gay kid from Shameless."
I definitely thought it was an odd pick because like that dude did Shameless, and then he was like the Joker in the Gotham show and everything. Like he's got range. Right. He's a good actor. Yeah. So, and he's one of the few attractive.
Fallen Order 2
redheads.
coming soon.
I'm kidding.
Take that, gingers. Yeah, no, that's a good choice. I had Fallen Order on a couple of like maybe picks on some of mine.
Yeah, it's my turn. I chose Joel from The Last of Us.
Handsome.
I was kind of surprised no one chose him. I also had Kratos on my list.
Oh, I had him on mine too.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Either way, I let both of them crack my spine over their knee, you know. All right, so next up is a game that deserves a sequel, right?
Yep, sequel or reboot.
Oh, you already know mine. We need an Elder Scrolls 6.
It's coming.
Oh, it's coming?
Yeah. They announced it like 4 years ago.
Is this like well, they've announced it, but nothing has happened. Anyway, fine. I'll go with my second option, which is Legends Arceus, which has not been confirmed to have any kind of follow-up.
Silence.
Okay, there we go. So I chose Legends Arceus. Caleb, go ahead. What's yours?
Yeah, there's several good choices I have here. But I think, in my opinion, the one I'd probably want the most would be Time Splitters.
Hell yeah.
Whether that be a reboot or 4 or however they want to do it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a remaster, which would probably be the one I want the least. I just want new, but I'll take whatever I can get because that game is fantastic. I mean, Capture the Bag alone, we could spend hours playing that game. It was also one of the games that I felt like was kind of a little ahead of its time, like being able to like create like maps and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like you could like create your own courses and stuff, and it was actually like pretty good quality for what it was, being on like the GameCube and whatnot. And yeah, you could do some really fun stuff in that game, and the story mode was super fun, and it was all co-op. It was just great game that needs to come back. To come back.
The only thing that would be bad was if they just like did it like a freaking like EA did with the Battlefront.
Oh yeah, just buy shit.
Microtransaction the hell out of it.
Microtransactions. That would be terrible. Skins.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
I'm definitely not against like customizing and stuff, but yeah, if they make it all money based, and then that's just pure lame.
Lame. Oh, Big Daddy.
Those are creepy.
They are creepy.
All right. So this is a tough one. Not all of my list is left. Man, it's between two, either Bully or Simpsons Hit and Run. I'm gonna go with Simpsons Hit and Run. That game's awesome, and I feel like it's way too far gone or like it's just been way too long for them to not remaster it or do something else. I mean, that game's a cult classic now, and I feel like they have a lot of material to work with. I know The Simpsons isn't a great show now, but I mean, there's just a lot you could do with it. So I'm gonna go with that.
Solid choice. Caleb and I did basically an episode of the podcast. It was basically 10 things that we think need a reboot. So I had a big list of things to choose from there. Caleb took what was going to be my first pick, which was Time Splitters. But well, I can't decide because they're all pretty even to me. I'll go with one. I think I mentioned all these in the last episode. I'm just gonna go with Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the one that had Jango Fett in it. You could do, it's not Star Wars Jango Fett, it's Star Wars Bounty Hunter. So you could do a game where you could play as Din Djarin, you could play as Boba Fett, you could play as any other number of Star Wars bounty hunters, or you could, maybe even make a custom one. I don't know. This is why I don't make games, but that's one that was a lot of fun. What little I did play of it, and I think that it deserves to have something else. And there's a lot of new material to use and choose from. And then that cycles to me. Then next category then is a game that scares the piss out of you. As previously mentioned, I scare quite easily. I don't tend to go see horror movies, and I don't typically pick up games that I think are going to scare me. That being said, one game that scared the ever-loving shit out of me, that I admittedly did not finish, in part because it scared the shit out of me, is Dead Space. I'm going to go with Dead Space. The first 5 minutes of this, it's just terrifying, and like it was a game where I played just like tensed the whole time. So it's brutal, it's grimy. Like I don't even think you start with a gun or anything. Like, and sometimes you kill the bad guys, but then their heads like start crawling towards you. You gotta like stomp on them. It's messy and it's scary, and I could not complete it. So Dead Space for me.
So for me, I'm gonna go a little off the radar here. I couldn't finish Resident Evil 7, and I couldn't finish The Evil Within. But I'm going to go with the game that really surprised me, really scared the heck out of me, and that is Zombie U for the Nintendo Wii U.
Yeah.
That game, it's... I mean, I'm like Zach. I don't like playing scary games. It's like I don't even like scary movies. Why would I want to subject myself to being that person?
Mhm.
But in this one, I mean, you're just by yourself. I don't even. There's the only other NPCs that are good people are behind walls and stuff, and you can't see them. And when you die, you lose all of your progress, and you have to go back and kill your old self to get your stuff. And if you die, then it's all gone. So
Yeah.
it was mildly terrifying, and I did not like it in that regard, but it was fun.
I did go with Slender.
That's right.
Slender being
Yeah.
the classic computer-based game, I guess. Yeah, no, I mean, we already talked about it, but you could just play that like in the computer lab at school, and it was the funniest stuff because people would just all of a sudden it'd be dead silent, and then somebody would just jump out of their seat, and it's like, what the hell? Everybody looks at them. But yeah, I mean, good, scary, terrifying memories. Everybody loves Slenderman, kind of, I guess. Everybody knows who Slenderman is, at least.
That's true. True.
He's like the GOAT OG scary.
I barely dabbled with it. It was a little too much for me, man.
Oh yeah, it was spooky as all hell. When that screen just starts to get fuzzy and like I don't know. Obviously, you said you only dabbled with it, but like I would be the one idiot. I would like turn around and accidentally see him and then piss my pants. And it's like, why did I do that? Why didn't I just keep going for it? Don't.
I would always. I think I got to it like one time and I like opened it up and was just like what don't you like start outside of the woods because like your car crashes or whatever?
Yeah, something
And
like
I was
that.
just like, I walked into the woods and then like, do you have a flashlight in that game?
Yeah, but it can die.
Well, that's the thing.
Sometimes.
Like, I think I was walking, and then my flashlight went like toot, 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 and it died. And I was like, "Oh, that's enough for me."
I'm
And I
done.
just turned it off and just.
They have one area in there. It's like I guess just like a little outdoor like restroom area, and it's like super tight, like quarters and stuff. And I remember that because like that's where I would always get scared because like you have to like collect the 8 pages or whatever, and there's always a page in there. So you go in there and like every time I go in there, I'm like I have to come out, and I know that he's around the corner. Like I don't know how to avoid it.
Yeah, I wonder how the AI worked in that game.
It's like God damn it.
But yeah, so that's a spooky one.
I'm kind of amazed that none of you said Alien Isolation, which is on my list. That one
never played it.
Oh, that one it puts you in the Alien franchise, and it's just as terrifying as you think. And there are multiple. There's a point where everything kind of like turns, and it's like, oh shit, has actually hit the fan now. Now I'm fighting androids, I'm fighting face huggers, and I'm fighting a bunch of aliens. Okay, that's fun. And even whenever they give you like the most supercharged weapon in the game to defend yourself, it still is just like a tiny improvement to your survivability. Like it barely helps, but ugh, it's horrifying. And the fact is, like, this game was built on a learning AI. So if you hide under a table in a room, the alien's gonna walk around, it'll leave, and the next time that you hide in a room under a table, it's gonna check under the table. So the more that you hide from it, the more that it learns to check hiding places. So eventually you just have nowhere to hide from this thing, and you just have to run. It's not fun.
Yeah, I've heard that's a really good one, but I never got around to it.
Yeah. Okay. Game based off of a non-video game is next, right?
Yeah, based off a non-video game IP.
Got it. I chose fairly obviously for me Call of Cthulhu. They actually do have a video game for this. They've had multiple, but there's like an older version of it. Um, just about scary enough that it keeps you on edge, but it's not like unplayable scary. But it's fun. You know, you just go to Innsmouth and just investigate and see all the weird fish people and all the weird happenings as people try to summon Dagon and Cthulhu, and you just got to put a stop to it. It's good. It's fun.
Yeah. The one pick that comes to mind, well, there's two things that come to mind, but like the real pick is GoldenEye. That is just too good of a game to not say. It's like the father of multiplayer, kind of. Like everybody loved GoldenEye. It was the best shooter, best co-op game, based off the movie GoldenEye, obviously. I do mean, I guess I'll specify the 64 version, not the Wii one or the I think it was even on PS3 and Xbox. It was a fun game, but it wasn't the original. It's got to be Pierce Brosnan. No offense to Daniel Craig. But my other one on here, I don't know if I said this before, and I don't even know if you remember the game, but Spider-Man 1, like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man one that we had for the GameCube. That game was fun. Do you remember like you could beat the game and then play through it as the Green Goblin?
Or Mary Jane.
Oh, I don't remember Mary Jane. I just remember
that was
Green
something
Goblin.
That you could get. Maybe that's Spider-Man.
I know
2.
you could change your skin.
Yeah,
you could change your
maybe
skin.
That's what it was.
You could like literally be like the Shocker and stuff. Yeah. But you could actually like play through a different story as the Green Goblin and like fly around on his glider. It was super cool.
That's a good one.
But GoldenEye is what I've got.
That's a really good pick because I didn't even think about GoldenEye.
Too good of a game, man. So good.
Yeah, it really is.
Odd Job just cheating.
Oh yeah, I mean Odd Jobs was hacks, man, for sure.
So if you know me, you would know that this is an obvious choice. We're gonna go with Ghostbusters, the video game. It is essentially the third movie with all the original cast. Well, I guess how about we just go with the remastered version?
I was about to say it's the one with the original cast.
Well, they made it for PS2 and Wii and that, so it looked cartoony. I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it had the same voice actors, but it just looked cartoony. I'm gonna go with the one where they look like themselves and not the cartoony version. Even though I did play it first on the Wii, but I love that game. It is essentially the third movie, and it is one of my comfort games that I go back to all the time just because, who doesn't love busting ghosts?
I honestly thought that Dylan would probably take the one that I wanted to pick here. But I'm going to go with the 2018 Spider-Man. It's not based off
Yeah.
a specific movie, but it is based off of Spider-Man, which was not originally a video game, so it counts. Don't try me on that. Spider-Man, the 2018 Spider-Man is probably one of the 2 or 3 best games from the 2010s, in my opinion. It was pretty awesome. Top 5 at the absolute worst, I would say. It was just so much fun. You get all the cool suits. You get the, just traversing the map. Like, it was so satisfying just swinging. Like, I would just spend, every time I turned it on, I would just spend, the first 3 or 4 minutes that I was playing just web zipping and swinging throughout the city. The combat is maybe a little repetitive at times, but it's certainly not the most repetitive combat I've ever seen in a game. And the Miles Morales DLC is just as good, and I'm balls to the walls hyped for the second one. So that's my pick, Spider-Man. I had a couple other
I
that I was kicking around, but I went with Spider-Man.
I thought maybe you'd go with like Mad Max or something.
See, I
That
played
was a
that
good one.
game. I played that
One's
game, but
fine.
I didn't love it. I don't know. It was okay.
I liked that one. I think that was probably the one I would go with if I didn't pick that one. But yeah, the
Interesting.
Spider-Man. Well, I mean, Spider-Man. Yeah, I didn't really think of it in that regard, I guess. But you're exactly right.
And then my next pick, then it circles around to a handheld console. Handheld console. I've not really done much handheld gaming in a while. Also, do we count the Switch? Does the Switch count?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the Switch and the Switch Lite do count.
Okay, well that changes it because I did not put Switch on the list because I didn't count. I didn't know if it would count or not. But if that's the case, I will go with the Nintendo Switch. That'll be my pick. Nintendo Switch. It's fun. That's part of the reason we were talking earlier about Lego Star Wars, and I bought it on the Switch because that just seems like something that you can just play and have fun in the car, right? Nintendo Switch obviously can be versatile. You can put it up on the TV, but it's just as easy to take with you. They got a lot of really good games on there as well. Handheld console games are sometimes a little hit and miss, but since this one is essentially kind of like the home console as well, I think the quality of games you get is typically going to be a little bit higher. So I'm going to go with Switch. I think that's a safe pick for me.
Solid
So-
choice.
So this is a tough one. I feel like once you get past the Switch, you really can't go too wrong with a lot of these other options. There's a lot of them too. It really just depends on if you're a Nintendo fan or not, I guess. But in that regard, I'm gonna go with the Virtual Boy. No, I'm kidding. I think man, I still don't exactly know. It's a toss up. As much as I love the PSP, I'm gonna go with the 3DS, just because there are so many really good games on there from every series. It started out slow, and you can play all the DS games on it, and that really helps. So you're not just, if you have all of those old DS games, you're not just limited to not being able to play those. And it's just got a great catalog. And the 3D effect was fine, if only for no. I mean that's why the 2DS was so popular. But man, it's just a great little console. I still even play today. So
Yeah, and we allowed the Switch, and Hair dgoodin stole the 3DS from me.
Bastard.
I was probably going to say that, but that's okay because I was a little torn between the 3DS and the Game Boy Color, and the Game Boy Color is a fantastic system. It is my baby. I still have it, and I got like a modded Game Boy Advance right now. I really want to get a modded Game Boy Color as well. Great memories, good games, all the fun stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color is
it's not better than a 3DS, obviously, but like just nostalgia.
yeah, you get the nostalgia.
Alone is why
I was gonna say, I think like of all handheld game systems, that's probably the one that I've played more than any other, like just in terms of like total hours.
Yeah, And all the Game Boys are, I mean, honestly, even the DSs, they're all good. Like, they just get better. You have like your Game Boy, and then you get your Game Boy Color, and then the Advance and Micro SD or SP. It's like they just keep getting better.
The Micro, that was an interesting one.
And oddly enough, like the most expensive one.
Yeah, weird.
I remember Drew Van Hise had one of
those. Oh, Drewbert.
My choice is going to be just the classic Nintendo DS. I think that was the first system that I bought with like allowance money, because the others were like gifts. So I like actually had my mom take me to a store and I bought it after working hard. So, holds a little bit of that attachment to it. Also, that's where I played Diamond, Platinum, all those games, which I hold dear. So yeah, it's just, there it is, Nintendo DS.
Solid. Yeah, my second. If I hadn't picked Switch, I would have weirdly gone with the 2DS.
Yeah,
it's got. I mean, as Dylan kind of said a second ago, he didn't mind the 3D function of the 3DS, but I always found myself, if I was playing a 3DS, I played it with the 3D off. So to me, the 2DS just made more sense for me personally.
I'm really surprised nobody chose the PSP. That original PSP
I never
was
owned
awesome.
I never owned a PSP.
It seemed perfect for you, though. I mean, playing Madden on the go. I mean, I guess you can't even do that now. It just depends on what you like. Nintendo, obviously, that's one thing, but the PSP, you could watch movies, and I mean, the graphics were like basically PS2 level. It was pretty neat for its time. I remember watching them play Battlefront 2 at lunch, and I was just like, damn.
Dude, Battlefront 2, so kick-ass.
Okay. Next one is game that pulls at the heartstrings.
Yep, something that gets you in the feels there.
Yep. My choice was the first game that ever made me cry, and that is a little point-and-click chibi top-down adventure drama called To the Moon. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this.
Never heard of it.
Great. So
we're talking about Dogecoin? I'm sorry.
To the moon.
It like the title of it is very unfortunate. But yeah. It's basically these agents come into the house of a dying man, and their whole job is to basically, whenever he dies, his life will flash before his eyes. So they want to structure his life flashing before his eyes to be ideal to what he wanted his life to be, So they have to go and find his memories. You get a bunch of flashbacks. You learn about how he had a teenage crush who eventually he married, but there's a whole chunk of memory missing. And they had a very unhappy marriage. And you learn the reason why it's called To the Moon is because whenever he was a kid, before he lost his memory for a certain period, he told her he was going to take her to the moon. And so, the ending of it is you finally get to see the memory that the replacement life flashing before his eyes. And you get to see that they deleted his wife from his life entirely, which is just like, it's heartbreaking in the moment, because you realize that they truly did love each other. It's just because of that one chunk of memory that was missing from him, they had an unhappy marriage. And then at the very end of the game, he boards a rocket ship, and as he's sitting down, his crew member comes in, and it's his wife. And they go to the moon together, and then they have a happy life from there on. And it's complicated, but once you get through it and you pick up all the pieces, I got goosebumps right now just even thinking about the imagery. It's gorgeous.
Is it kind of like an Inception thing?
Almost. They infiltrate his memory to try to learn about his past and his relationships, this and that, and then they just insert a disc into a machine as he's dying that allows him to have his life flash before his eyes.
Certainly sounds sad, yeah.
Very.
Well, the game that pulled my heartstrings isn't necessarily an emotional game, but it was emotional to me. And that's Ocarina of Time for the 64. Not that it really matters which one you play it for, because it's the same thing. But Ocarina of Time, yeah, it took me years to beat. Just like any Zelda game, you get stuck on the water temple, and then you give up. Yeah, that water temple in there was stupid. And I mean, really, like I gave up for years. And then, I don't know, at some point, eventually, I was able to come back to it. I figured out, probably through walkthroughs, I managed to help me get out of there. And then after that, I breezed through the rest. And yeah, I just remember having to leave my 64 on overnight because it was a school night. And I was so afraid. I was like literally in front of Ganondorf. I'm like, this thing's going to like just freeze up overnight and I'm not going to be able to beat Ganondorf. But thankfully it didn't. And I beat him right before I went into school. And, just watching those credits is, it was so satisfactory for me beating because it took so long for me to beat. And then all the credits are rolling and everybody's all together and they're celebrating. It was a great sight to see, something I had never seen before and something that I thought I would never see because I genuinely thought I would never beat that game. It was so hard. But I did.
I totally get what you mean too, because like one of my like all-time favorite game experiences was when I beat Pokemon Silver for the first time, because that was back when I was a dumb kid and I didn't really understand like Pokemon's not really a hard game. Yeah, but I just had like one guy that was just like like I was rocking like a level like 80 Espeon, and the rest of my guys were like 30, and it took me forever to beat it. And then like I beat the Elite Four, and I was just like overcome with emotion, and I was like, I finally did it. I finally beat this game. And then the part that just like really floored me was like, hey, time to go to Kanto now, bub. You got to get 8 more badges. And I was like, what?
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, and then of course red.
Dot.
That is like tough fight. Most playthroughs I play Crystal a lot. Most playthroughs I don't beat him. I usually give it one go, and then after that I'm like, okay, I've played enough of the game. I've got 16 badges and I beat the Elite Four. Good enough.
Best I could.
All right. Because I mean, especially you know pretty quickly if you're gonna lose to him. It's like I don't really want to have to fight the Elite Four 6 times just to maybe be able to
level up enough to get this guy. Yeah.
Because that game, those old, they're hard, tough. Like to grind.
Yeah, with no XP share.
Well, you can get one XP share, but it only attaches to one Pokemon, not for your whole team.
So for me, I have 3 of them written down. 2 of them are from the same series, and only one of them made me actually cry like a baby. I'm gonna go with The Last of Us 2. Okay. I had it spoiled for me. I was very unfortunate, so I knew Joel was going to die, and it's still F off. I still cried like a baby when it came. So it just, I don't know, man. I mean, it's a great game, but I just, sorry, my computer cut off. It's a great game, but my heart hurts to even think about playing it again.
Dude, yeah, that game's awesome. It's tough. It's a tough, like it takes its toll on you. I mean, even like that in the beginning, and then just like over the course of the game, it's just like one bad thing after the next happens, and it's just it's exhausting at some point. It's just kind of like, oh god, like
it's hard like I'm to even say the game is fun.
Yeah,
it's just so mentally exhausting.
Yeah, it's like I'm supposed to play games, to wind down and relax and stuff to a degree, but this one is just tough. It's just crushing. I was kind of thinking Dylan I always feel like Dylan's going to snipe a pick from me, and that one was on my list as well. I also had The Last of Us on my list.
Yep.
But I'm not going to go with that one. I'm going to go with the first, because this is the only one that I've played, but the Telltale Walking Dead.
Yep, that's my second choice.
Yeah. I've only played the first box set or first chapters or whatever, the first chunk, because I know they've continued the series on beyond that. dude, this game is depressing. It's very sad. You know, and maybe that was part of the reason why I never went on to play the others. You know, because this ends on a note where you're just kind of like, oof. Oh shoot, now I can't even remember the guy's name off the top of my head. The
Lee.
main guy, Lee, yeah, Lee and Clementine, right? And their relationship, sort of the found family relationship that they build all along the way. And there's a lot of those. You get to make your own choices in this game, but I think they kind of pull you in on the ending there, at least to a degree. And it's a tough one. It's a sad one. All the Telltale games are pretty good too. I also had the Game of Thrones Telltale game on my list, which was marketably less popular than the Walking Dead one, at least from what I've gathered. But I loved that one as well. So I had a few other ones on the list where I was just like, these are some sad ones here, and I would have been fine picking either of them. Like I had Shadow of the Colossus on there, super sad, but I'll stick with Telltale Walking Dead.
So that one, there were, I think, 4 other actual like chapters, I guess, like 4 different ones. But I think you're fine stopping where you are.
They made an attempt to kind of sort of allude to it being canon initially, with the inclusion of Glenn and him like running off to do something, and they even had the farm that they go to in season 2. But like around that point, I think they just kind of like stopped caring about continuity with the show.
Yeah, they like had all new characters they focused on, then realized that nobody liked them, and then went back to Clementine. It was just they really did some weird stuff with it. So I think like the first season is perfectly fine played on its own.
Yeah, I think the Game of Thrones one I think was at least distantly canon as well. Or sort of at least rooted in the canon. So I get the first pick then on our second to last round, which is video game movies. Movies based off a video game. Video game movies, famously not very good. There's certainly some to choose from here, and I kind of wish I wasn't the first pick on this one because it would make my decision a little bit easier. But I am the first. And I'm gonna go with Detective Pikachu. I think that's my pick. Obvious. I considered pretty strongly 2 others, and as much as I did like those, I think pound for pound Detective Pikachu is probably better. It's also one that like surpassed my expectations. I was like, man, I don't know. I didn't have high hopes for a Detective Pikachu movie, but now I'm sitting here pissed off because they're not going to have a sequel to it. So I'm gonna stick with Detective Pikachu, and I'll just leave it at that. It's fun. Ryan Reynolds is fun. Pokemon are cute. It was cool to see them all, sort of in that world and how they interact with the people. And the part with the giant Torterras was awesome. Like size of islands or whatever. Super cool. It was just a really fun time, and I wish they could do more of those as well.
So, this seems like I don't know. I guess living in the moment, since I just saw it, but I'm gonna go with I guess Sonic 2. I mean, both of them, if you want to count that. If one of you guys want to pick Sonic 1, that's fine. But yeah, there you go. It's obviously
keep it light on the spoilers, bub.
It's obviously a kids movie. I'm not gonna tell you what happens, but it's a really good video game movie. There's a lot of fan service, secrets, Easter eggs in there that you'll catch, and it's just a big fun movie. And even the first one was the same. As a Sonic fan, I got about everything I wanted out of it. And they've already said that there's going to be a third one even before this movie came out. So
and supposedly a show too.
Yeah. So we've gotten awful lucky that because I think if they went with that first design, there wouldn't even be a sequel.
No.
But so I don't even know if we'd be at this point if they didn't change it. But it looks great. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. Go see it if you haven't yet. I know some of you are. So
I'm going
anyway,
today.
I'm gonna go with Sonic.
Yeah, no, Uncharted. There's plenty of good movies. You got Sonic, and then I really liked the Tomb Raider movie as well. The newest one, not the Angelina Jolie one. Technically not seen those, but I don't know that they're actually that good. But Uncharted was great. It was, we've talked about it plenty already, but I mean, it was about what I had hoped it would be. Obviously, it didn't quite feel Uncharted as much in the beginning, but for a video game movie, I think it didn't flop.
Yeah.
I think there's hope for a second one. I want there to be a second one, and yeah, I mean it's up there for being the best. And there's not much to beat. Like I said, in my opinion, besides like Sonic and Tomb Raider, it's not hard to be the best in this category.
True. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I think we've talked plenty about Uncharted. We're both big fans. So.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it'll end up on my top 10 movies of the year list at the end of the year.
Oh, it'll definitely be on mine.
And I'll seem like Bailey will think that my list is low class trash.
I already know Bailey's list is going to piss me off. I'm not even going to know half of them, and the other half is just going to be dog shit movies. West Side Story.
Come off it, Bailey. I wonder if he's going to listen to this. Hi, Bailey.
Hi, Bailey.
Yeah, so that Uncharted, I thought it was awesome. I'm ready for the next one, and it made a lot of money, so I'm very happy.
My movie, I went ahead, I'm just going to go with Sonic 1, because you're giving me the option to go ahead. Go with that. It's good.
You should have picked the 2021 Mortal Kombat.
Nah.
Mortal Kombat. That was a great movie.
Nah.
Yeah, that was a top movie in 2021, I would say.
So games from 2013, right?
Yes, sir, indeed.
Flowing right past.
Bailey's trying to erase good movies.
I am not trying to erase
This is the big one. This is what
there's
we're
no
ended on
pinkies
here.
out in Mortal Kombat.
So,
and I get last pick, which is fucking dog balls, because this is a good one.
We're gonna say all the good ones, and I'll start with the one that everyone probably has, maybe, GTA 5.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, it's
no one
he's
has
right.
that.
He's
Okay.
right.
It was. I think GTA.
Well, wait. You mean GTA... the 2013? Or the 2015 or the 2021 or?
I guess I can't wait for GTA 6 to come out in 2026.
GTA 5 was admittedly 4th on my list.
Also, a little lackluster list in my opinion. Obviously, I didn't even bother putting Last of Us on here because I knew dgoodin was going to be in here, and I figured he would probably pick that. But yeah, I went with X and Y, Pokemon X and Y. Those were, in my opinion, some of the best Pokemon games that we've ever gotten. Yeah, Megas, which were introduced in that game, and they didn't stick around as long as I would have liked, unfortunately. But just the sheer variety of Pokemon you had, it was almost overwhelming at points. Like you could build almost any team you wanted. Like each playthrough is just so much different than the last. Like you have so many options. Story is not bad. Team flair, a little dumb, a little quirky, but it was all fine. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I've liked a new Pokemon game as much since that game came out. Like, I can't remember every Pokemon game that's come out since then, but I think I like X and Y overall, the ones that have come out since.
Would you say that it's like
it's good?
Your favorite Pokemon game, like full stop? Or well, that's probably Crystal.
No, Crystal.
But...
Yeah, Crystal Gen 2s. It's in the top three. Yeah, possibly number 2. Yeah, possibly number 2. I know a lot of people say Kanto is boring, and we have had plenty of Kanto, but I do really like the Kanto region. So like that, those are probably my top 3, maybe. So
that's a good one.
Shout out Kalos region.
Kalos for life. Would you get one if they did? Would you get like a Legends Arceus game if they did one in the Kalos region? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be
Be cool. I definitely think I feel like they'll probably end up doing more of those. So
I just hope it's not. And I know I haven't played it, but I hope it's not the same premise where you're just getting sent back in time to. I hope they find if they're gonna do it a little bit differently. You know, that way it doesn't feel just like a carbon copy. But I thought like a good one. We had talked about another good idea. I thought, was it Mew or something that we had said?
Yeah.
For like a Legends. Like I don't know what region you do it in, but Celebi could be a good one for Johto. So. Yeah, that could be a good. Yeah, that's time based. Yeah, I think that's probably what we said. Celebi.
Look at us. That's smart cookies here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that was your last pick. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, or any like? I don't know. This could.
No, nothing to say about this. Just that I screwed up with the audio, and hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah, this is maybe going to be a very awkward feeling episode once it's all spliced together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll definitely try to make sure that.
One thing whatever. Craig's being fine now, of course. One thing that we said that we would try to do, but I totally forgot to do. Oh, also, no. Here, I'm angry again, and then I'll do my other thing. I'm looking at this. You need to get some booze in for this because your booze wouldn't have been recorded here. Bailey picked the imposter for his video game antagonist from frickin' Among Us.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, what was that
video game antagonist? Bailey.
Video game antagonist. Yeah, that is the dumbest shit in the world. I hate that game. Like, I know I might go on a little tangent here, but like all the fucking people I watched on YouTube, they just started doing Among Us shit. And it's like, goddamn, I used to watch you guys for years, and now you're doing this crap. It's
I played maybe 2 full rounds of Among Us, and I was like, okay, I get it.
Same. I think I probably played 1 or 2 games of that, and I was like, this is...
You walk around, and then you spam in the chat, I saw this guy do it, and then that's it.
And like the people I watch playing it, like, they're typically like in a party together talking, and it's not a fun game to watch.
No.
Like it's the same thing every fucking time. I don't know. Among Us is stupid.
Yeah. And I feel like the Among Us trend is pretty dead now.
It is, but like I said, those people on YouTube are still playing it. I'm like,
what I was going to say, I felt I needed to.
I thought you said
no. I wanted you to get your booze in on Bailey.
Get my booze in. Okay, I thought you were gonna trash on something I had said earlier.
I thought your picks were pretty solid. The one thing that we said we were gonna try to do episode to episode, is update the Moon Knight minutes. How long was Moon Knight?
Oh well, yeah, I
didn't track it exactly. I didn't track it 100% either, but I did do sort of an estimate. And I think if you combine episode 1 and episode 2, it's at about 9 to 10 minutes of Moon Knight. So
interesting. 9 minutes and a total of like.
Probably 90 because they're about 45-minute episode average. Like so
yeah, it's not a lot. And are we considering when he was like half transformed?
That's why I said like 9 to 10 because I wasn't sure.
Okay, I almost wouldn't count that because that was still Steven.
Yeah,
you know, he was just like, and so I guess we kind of answered a question that he can kind of conjure up. Dude.
I thought that was cool. I thought it was cool that they had 2 different suits, but we'll probably talk about that and then next week a little bit.
Bailey was he? That. Yeah, I think on Twitter he's like, I just think it's dumb that they made an easy costume to sell for like
it's
cosplay,
Disney, bro. So
blah blah blah.
You know,
Also,
I was listening to another podcast that I really like, and they were talking about how it's probably not a good idea to cosplay Moon Knight because if you don't get it just right, you kind of come off looking like a Klansman. So I don't know if it's easy cosplay, but it's there.
That's what he was saying. He's like, it's too easy to make that costume.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought it was cool that they had 2 separate ones, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We've been going on too long. Whatever.
Right.
Among Us was a bad pick.
Yes.
Bailey did that. Dylan picked the big titty anime chick, and That's it, pretty much. Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, Craig. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Well, this
Well,
makes my
pretty
choice
easy
very
pick then,
easy
yeah.
here. Yeah, it's my favorite game of all time. And I honestly, when this game came out, I didn't even know it was a thing until Zach told me that he was getting it. And I'm like, oh, I'll go pick it up. And here we are. The Last of Us Part 1. It is my all-time favorite game. I could play it over and over and over again and not be tired or bored with it. It's the perfect single-player third-person game for me.
And it had fun multiplayer too. Yeah.
And yeah.
Didn't
I
it-
still on
didn't it
the
do
on
a
the
thing?
remastered version, I still go back and play it sometimes.
Didn't it do a thing where you could like link your Facebook account to
Yes.
it,
Hmm.
and then like you could have like people from your Facebook friends list like die, like you didn't bring back enough supplies, so Dylan Gooden died from
Yep.
starvation.
It's such a shame they didn't do that with the second one,
A little bit of
but
a bummer, yeah.
it's. I mean, that game. I know they're remaking it again, and I don't really understand why. Probably to coincide with the HBO show.
Yeah.
Very curious if they're gonna go with like. I don't know. I really hope Joel doesn't come out looking like Pedro Pascal. I liked his original design, but we'll see.
I don't know. I'm sure they'll beard him up a little
Kind of
bit.
hard
I
for
think
him not to look like Pedro Pascal when it's a live action show and he is Pedro Pascal.
I don't know. I liked his original design. I don't feel like this game needed to be remade. I just don't. It just doesn't make any sense. But it is what it is.
yeah, it is a great game. That seriously is an all timer, for sure. 2013 had a lot of good games, and I still have what would have been my number 2 on my list here, and that is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Black Flag. So, and honestly, it's my favorite of the or of the Assassin's Creed games. I admittedly have not played the newer ones, and that's because I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, thought it was the greatest game I had ever played, just about, and then they followed it up with Assassin's Creed Unity, which was just donkey balls. Like it was the worst Assassin's Creed I'd ever played, and I was just so disgusted with Assassin's Creed Unity that I haven't played any of them since. And I've heard the Odyssey one's good. I've heard the one in, that's their one in Greece. I've heard the one that they did in Egypt is good. I hear that their new Valhalla Viking one is really good. So it sounds like they've come back into it, and I would play them, I'm sure, at some point, but they just haven't been really high priority. I loved the pirate setting of this. I love that you could get a ship and customize your ship. You could have your guys on the ship sing sea shanties, and then you could go raid other people's ships, and you could go hunting for whales and sharks. Right? It just had so much kind of wrapped in that Assassin's Creed veneer, and it did tie back into the mainline story a lot as well, because you're playing as the grandfather of the guy from Assassin's Creed 3. It was just really a lot of fun. It was a nice, big, open world experience, a lot of customization opportunities in there. And, it was a big step up even from the previous Assassin's Creed games, which I had really enjoyed as well. So that was probably my second pick, second favorite. I would have gone with The Last of Us if that was on the board still for me personally. But that is my pick, and that is the final pick of the video game draft here. What do you guys think? You satisfied with your picks? Were you triggered about anything?
Not triggered.
Bailey plays a lot of games that I've never heard of.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I've been called pretentious.
Well, yeah, see him hating on Mortal Kombat. That's just a little snobby there, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could not like that movie. Did you even watch that movie?
Yeah, I did.
I feel like you didn't.
My eyes were glued to it, and I was just like, ugh. I'm sorry, lizard. Like, I don't like when they make lizard into an actual lizard. I kind of like the design of the ninja that takes off his mask and he has like the sharp teeth underneath. I don't know.
Reptile.
Lizard.
His name's Reptile.
Sorry, lizard, reptile. I don't know these characters' names. I know laser eye guy. I know guy who punches, guy with hat. Lightning
Raiden.
Man.
Kung Lao. Yeah, Raiden and Kung Lao.
Yeah, four-arm Thanos guy?
Goro.
I don't know.
Goro, he's part dragon.
He doesn't look
So-
like a dragon to me.
Well, they are. He is. So fuck off. Yeah. So Mortal Kombat, great movie. 2 of the 3 Mortal Kombats are great. The second one's terrible. So
I actually like the second one.
of course you do. Whatever, Bailey. Now you're just trying to upset me here. All right. Well, I hope you guys had a fun time. Not you guys, like here. I don't care if you had a fun time.
I had fun.
I hope that
Shut up, Dylan.
I hope that Dad
Wow.
enjoys listening to this.
Oh, Dad is the one who's been asking for Dylan like more than anyone.
It's true.
That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
He's a big proponent.
I bring a lot of
Did I just call?
Fun
Did I
to
just
the
call your
table.
dad? Dad?
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just roll
God.
with it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike.
Michael. I named you.
That's
Yeah.
it.
So we'll leave it at that. We probably there's a bazillion other categories and stuff we could probably do. So I'm sure we'll do some more video game draft in the future. But I think we'll leave it at that. I gotta go see Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
I'm
Very
seeing
in-
everything everywhere all at once, and I'm paying to see it because I support smaller filmmakers.
How can you see all the movies at one time? That seems kind of difficult.
They
Got
do
it.
it somehow. I'm gonna find out.
I am going to pay to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 2 because I support large studio IP conglomerate machines, and I will pirate everything everywhere all at once, probably this next Friday. So that is my plan.
The FBI just tuned in, and they're like, "Write that down. Write that down."
What is it?
I sure hope the FBI is listening to this.
Is it Flixto?
There are
Flickster.
7 listeners plus Mike.
Flixter, everything everywhere all at once.
Shout out, Mike. I love you.
And then we'll do a Sonic the Hedgehog 2 versus the Batman episode after Batman comes out on HBO. All right, I can't do this anymore. All right, stop your recording, Caleb, because mine already canceled.
What a great way to end the video. Or the